because the guy literally was doing everything I normally do. But
Okay. I'm not blaming you. I'm
blaming
something else.
You're blaming something else. Okay. All right. We do have a little news tidbit that came through this morning in the form of a news release, a media alert. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. at the, Central Louisiana Regional Port. Louisiana Central, in partnership with the Central Louisiana Regional Port and Crest Industries, are hosting an industrial announcement and groundbreaking ceremony highlighting a major manufacturing expansion project that will strengthen the regional economy and create new opportunities for growth and investment. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I am too. We will see. I'll be there and I'll have the full report for you.
Your sources aren't telling you what that is yet?
Well, I'll have to ask them first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could ask though. Okay. If they told me, I probably couldn't tell you. I don't mean that in a bad way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, we've been getting a lot of messages about like a data center.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me about it too this morning, I was like, okay, so you must be hearing it as well. And I did talk to a guy, the economist, Dr. Lawrence Scott.
Yeah.
And he goes, you could be getting a data center in the future. I'm not saying this is what that's about, but I think we're hearing that, and then we're hearing this. So I don't want to like downplay whatever this is. If it's not that, I'm sure it's great, whatever it is. Yeah. But I'll try and find out.
All right.
This is why I don't speculate. So people are going to hear data center and
Steven
said Meta's coming.
I don't know if you saw over the weekend, but it was announced that Vinton, down in southeast Louisiana, is going to be the home of a rare earth separation facility. According to the Advocate, Southwest Louisiana will soon have the country's first heavy rare earth separation facility. Now, is Nucor not that?
Yes.
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 Yes, it's not that, or it is that?
I think in the same hemisphere.
That's what surprised me from the article, that they're saying that'll be the first. Aclara Resources announced plans to build a $277 million facility at the port of Vinton. Hang on, page just refreshed on me.
I think Vinton's on the other side, isn't it?
It's on the southwest.
Near Texas.
Yeah. They said the project will strengthen the nation's advanced technology supply chain, according to a news release from Louisiana Economic Development. Aclara will use proprietary technology at the new facility to produce heavy rare earth elements, which are necessary for electric vehicles, wind turbines, drones, and robots that rely on advanced permanent magnets. The operation will process material from Aclara's mineral deposits in Brazil and Chile to provide Chile? Am I saying it wrong?
I would say Chile, but some people say Chile.
Okay. Can we get your wife to weigh in on it?
She said she likes Chile. She likes the people from there.
Okay.
That's all I know.
The country, not the food.
Yeah, though she's not really into spicy food. So
oh, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Just because you're Hispanic doesn't mean you like spicy food at all.
Am I stereotyping that?
I guess so, yeah. And it's not like Mexican food either.
Okay, I got you.
They're very unique.
So they say the facility in Vinton will create roughly 140 new jobs, according to LED. Now, it was interesting because coming into the show here...
140 what?
New jobs.
Oh, okay. I thought you said million jobs. Like, wow, that's amazing.
New jobs. Yeah.
More that should be bigger news right there.
All right.
You got to be employing the kids there or something.
I was going to say, right before our show came on, Kim Commando was talking about these data centers and what people who live near them are saying, that they're very noisy, that they use diesel fuel for backup generators. So she compared it to living next to an airport, if you live next to one of these. Now, having grown up living next to an airport, I don't know, it wasn't that bad when I was growing up. I mean, you get used to the planes flying over, you don't even really notice it after a while.
Yeah. But whenever all the smoke turns you different,
I mean, look at me.
Your hair a different color, you'd be all right.
I'm a picture of health.
Yeah. All those chemtrails by you ended up just okay.
Yeah, speaking of that, you see there's been a lot of people posting on social media ever since the government shut down that you're not seeing chemtrails, you're seeing crystal blue skies again.
I saw a bunch of, what do you call them? Not chemtrails, but planes, the smoke stacks behind them. I don't know. I'm not all over Alexandria over the weekend. It was a bunch. I took a picture too.
And then we got a bad storm, so.
It's all that cloud seeding created the hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have that picture somewhere. Because there were so many, I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what the term, it's not coming to my head right now, but.
Not chemtrails, but something.
Yeah, water vapor?
I guess. Like they did something to the clouds. Why do they let us on the radio? We don't even know what they're talking about, all of us half the time. Yeah, so I'll try and find out more about, oh, here it is, Al. And I can show it on the screen. That's a lot, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's quite a few.
Here, I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
It's not going to show up very well.
Contrails.
Contrails.
That's the word we're looking for.
So theory debunked, Al. Government shutdown. I saw contrails everywhere. There was so many.
But then like I said, it stormed.
That's true.
Thursday night was really pretty. It's a beautiful night. In fact, LCU had changed their football game to Friday, so that was a beautiful night for football. Now Saturday, as it turned out, once we got past the rain in the morning, the afternoon actually turned out okay. It was fairly humid, but then by the time night came, you started to get those storms that rumbled through. Pretty good lightning and thunder. Lots of rain. I think up in Grand Parish we had like 6 inches.
That's a lot of rain.
That is. But that led to the fog this morning. So again, be careful if you're out there with the fogginess.
We perfect day yesterday too.
Yes.
Had the Fall Fest out there in Alexandria. It's fantastic.
Yeah. That was at the Methodist Church.
Methodist Church.
Did Sophie like it?
Yeah. We took her out there. She had a good time.
Did she get some candy?
She doesn't eat candy. I hate to be that guy.
Seriously?
We don't feed her candy.
She doesn't eat it.
She doesn't know if she likes it or not.
You never let her eat it.
No. The only thing she's obsessed with is cereal. That's like the only junk food she eats.
What kind of cereal do you give her?
Special K yogurt blend. She loves it.
Wow.
The stuff grandmas eat.
Special K yogurt blend. So are the flakes covered with yogurt?
No, like yogurt cluster, granola cluster.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds guy.
Yeah.
It's my every morning breakfast. Love it.
Did you ever read that they created cereal to actually
I don't care if it's bad. I'm still
kind of lowers men's testosterone or something like that. That's one of those.
I wonder why I'm slowing down in the gym.
That's right. It's like
to lower men's testosterone. And the reptilians were the ones creating it?
Yes, exactly. In the realm of great conspiracy theories.
Well, I don't know. I do feel like I've slowed down a lot in life. Maybe that's the Honey Bunches of Oats.
Could be. You need to go to
Hair's
something.
falling out too, so.
You need to go to like shredded wheat or something like that.
As long as it's frosted.
Not Raisin Bran.
Wheaties.
What's the little crunchy things?
Oh, that's literally every cereal.
No, like the little
Rice Krispies.
Nope.
Honey Grams. Honey Smackers.
No, it's not a sweet cereal.
Grape Nuts.
Grape Nuts. That's it. Yeah.
I love Grape Nuts. Love them.
How do they get those nuts out of the grapes, though? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I'm sure it's tedious work.
Yeah.
I love Grape Nuts. They're fantastic. If you douse them with sugar.
See, you're not supposed to use honey instead.
I do. That's what I do.
All right.
It's still a form of sugar, kind of.
Yeah.
So.
But honey's actually good for you.
Honey that comes out of a bee's rear end.
That's right. Bee poop.
That's another weird thing, too, we do. We're weird.
It is.
Chemtrails, bee poop, and what else? What else? Chemtrails? Contrails?
This is what happens when people aren't calling in. Where is everybody this morning?
You know, I didn't feel like being productive at all this morning. It's one of those mornings.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, but we got a job to do. We need to be productive. It is our job to be productive.
We got it.
All right.
lives to save and people to talk to.
I can't believe, because we called for this, nobody's calling in to talk about the LSU football situation.
Maybe that's why they're mad. Everyone's just mad about the game.
Yeah, it was such a bad football week.
It's bad sports here in Louisiana.
But we still have baseball. Game 3 of the World Series tonight, back in Los Angeles.
I don't think Louisiana cares.
No?
No.
There are a few fans.
What is it at? 1-1?
Correct, yeah. The Blue Jays blew them out in Game 1, and then Game 2, Yamamoto pitched a complete game gem, just like he did against the Brewers. So we'll see what tonight it brings.
Brendan in the comments brought up a good point with the honey. It helps with your allergies if you buy the local honey.
Yes.
So that's something I do as well.
Yes.
That's fantastic. But I still have bad allergies. But maybe it tamps them down a little bit.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay. We need to take a break.
KSYL. Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Texas A&M. We'll hear from Brian Kelly, and we'll recap Saints and Bucks. So join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6. Alexandria's 94.7 ESPN.
Now back to Talk Back. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, we are back, and the BOM Bank Talk Line, 318-442-8255. Let's go to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I watched the LSU game, and I was one of the ones calling for his firing. My brother was at the game, and I was texting him back and forth. And the coaching shows at halftime. That's what my dad always said. When they come out after halftime, you see which team of coaches is better. Some teams still win with poor coaches because of superior athletes, but at that level, there's a stud at every position. And so it really comes down to coaching. And he blew it. Now, I know he won most of the games. I remember when Les Miles was fired, his proponents were saying, look, he wins 96.7% of his games. Yeah, he's expected to win 96.7%. What he was fired for was not winning the other 3.3%. That's just what we expect. We demand excellence, near perfection, and we almost get it sometimes, and that's because we have a winning system, and people come to LSU because if you want to go to the pros, you have to practice against the best, not necessarily just play with the best. You have to practice every day against those that are going to be moving up, and the greatness, excellence begets excellence. That's what Daddy always said. And, that's how we are in America. We complain about some things. Other people would love to have what we have in America. And yet we demand better. We demand more because our system has provided us a living that no one in the history of men breathing air has ever been able to enjoy. I'm talking to y'all about a game that men played, on the other side of the state. And we all saw it, and we could go to it if we want to. My little brother that, he drives a truck. He got to take his son, and they were able to afford to get into the stadium and watch the game. We have a lifestyle that is second to none, and I think we need to guard it closely. Just like LSU now has a chance. Christopher texted me, he said, "What idiot's going to step into his shoes?" I'm sure there's people jumping for that job, and they think they're arrogant enough to think, "Yeah, I can make it work." Because I'm sure the players are going to be. All the people that have committed, everything's going to change with the portal and everything. But there's guys, just like with Alabama, who would, in their right mind, would step in behind Nick Saban. But that guy's doing a pretty good job, Yeah. So excellence begets excellence in sports and in governance. And I'm just thankful that I live where I live. And we'll see who wins next year.
Yeah. And I think it will be interesting to see who they can get to be their next head coach. They're going to need a home run hire, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Y'all have a great day.
All right, thanks so much. Yeah, a friend of mine posted yesterday, Les Miles' era was filled with some of the most memorable games in SEC history, truly. And the LSU-Alabama game truly felt like a rivalry. Coach O's tenure ended poorly, but man, those years were fun to watch, and the 2019 season will never be topped. We aren't even going to talk about what Saban's 5 years did to change LSU and college football as a whole. About the only thing I'll remember about Brian Kelly's time at LSU is the Jaden Daniels game against Florida in 2023. Other than that, it's been a bland 4 years. I don't think that can be debated. Pretty good point.
Yeah.
It just has not been at the level that I think people really expect and want.
Yeah, I mean, you got to win championships or at least get close to it.
Yes.
Or you're going to be done.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Exactly. And he's done. All right, another call. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
So I'm not opposed to them getting rid of Kelly, but the problem is you bring in a coach, and then before he has a chance to have a full class of kids that he has recruited, you get rid of.
Yep.
Right? Like his seniors this year were brought in by Coach O.
Yeah, true.
Those were not his players.
Yeah.
All the people that are playing now play for Brian Kelly. So when y'all switch it, you know, they're going to buy him out for $56 million. So he's going to go to the house for a couple of years making killer money. And LSU's got to fork out another how many millions of dollars to find a new coach. And that new coach has to come in to coach players that he didn't bring in.
Right.
He's got to try and turn it around. And if he does it in 2 years, God help him, they're going to get rid of him too. It's a never-winning process. You don't give the guys long enough to develop a culture and to bring in players that can buy into his culture.
Right.
It's hurry up and win or you're gone.
Now, the transfer portal has helped some programs to rebuild quickly, but again, they aren't really players that you've quote recruited and developed, but it's just that mindset now. You've got to win big now or you're gone.
Yeah, and I get that. Everybody wants to win right now, but at the same time, I mean, that's why you have good programs like New England was for so many years, because they could keep so many players together and just keep a system building.
Yep.
You know,
that's what Alabama had built under Nick Saban.
Yes.
Where
that's it. They had backups to backups.
But I think that's why Saban got out, because now you have where if a freshman doesn't play a lot as a freshman, they transfer. Versus the way it's traditionally been, which is kind of the expectation is you weren't going to play a lot unless you were really great until maybe your junior year. And that was okay. You were paying your dues. You were getting opportunities in blowout games, what have you. Maybe injuries open a door, but the system he created there was as soon as somebody leaves, somebody just as good or better was stepping in because you had that time to develop that player. But now you really don't have that because players aren't as willing to kind of ride it out and sacrifice and, like I said, pay their dues. They just want it now.
That's where the NIL has caused problems.
Yeah, no doubt.
When you can do nothing and go in as a freshman, making $12 million a year just to sign your name on a piece of paper and go to school.
Yeah,
I mean, you really don't even have to perform on the field.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
It's quite, it has definitely watered down the sport.
Well, thanks for your thoughts this morning. Appreciate it.
Have a good morning.
By the way, you're not doing a good enough job with air conditioning, so you're going to get fired and you're going to get about $5 million a year. Don't you wish that was the case?
Do that to me in radio.
I know. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
So I hate to be a contrarian, but I'm really good at it. I don't care if LSU ever wins another game. My lifestyle is not affected by that team in Baton Rouge one iota.
Sure.
If they win every game or if they lose every game, it has nothing to do with my lifestyle. Second of all, LSU doesn't develop players. They get them from the portal. Their last two Heisman Trophy winners, Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, were not developed. They came in from another system and were stars here.
Fair.
NIL and the transfer portal has ended this 4 or 5 year development system. That's over.
Mm-hmm.
And people should not blame Brian Kelly. No one made LSU offer him that contract. Whoever negotiated that contract where he could flop for 4 years and then get a big payday, the guy that approved that contract is who needs to be fired. And he's the same guy that came from Texas A&M that gave Jimbo Fisher a $70 million buyout. There's a pattern here.
Yeah.
And it's not the player's fault, and it's not Brian Kelly's fault. It's the people who offer that contract.
Awesome. Thanks for the call. We got to take this break. Good thoughts. We'll be right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter. At The Clinics, your health is our priority. Whether it's a routine checkup or ongoing care, we are here for you. Dr. Noah Miller, our newest family medicine physician, along with 5 other dedicated family physicians, are now accepting new patients. Schedule your appointment today. And remember, if you're ever admitted to the hospital, our doctors will see you there too. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The Clinics, 1587 North Bolton, 445-9823, online at theclinics.us.
Central Louisiana has what it takes. Strong workforce, perfect location, and a legacy of getting things done. That's why Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is producing clean fuel in Pineville, investing $2.5 billion, bringing 1,100 construction jobs, 600 permanent jobs, and millions in local tax revenue. Made here, powered by us. Visit BeaverLakeEnergy.com and see how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
You too could have a beautiful smile in as little as 12 weeks. Exclusive to Today's Dental in Pineville, Virtual Align Clear Aligners, the fastest, most convenient, affordable way to straighten your teeth for people on the go. Plus, they're invisible. No one will know you're doing it. Experience the Virtual Align difference. Call Today's Dental at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. 448-4540.
At Sinlaw Pregnancy Centers, we serve women in unplanned or crisis pregnancies. Located in Alexandria, Marksville, and Vidalia, you can receive pregnancy verification, limited ultrasounds, material goods, and hope at no cost. Our staff is equipped to provide expert options counseling during what might be a very difficult time, because we want you to know that you are not alone. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call us today at 318-314-3061.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Sinlaw's best at Bricato's Restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt in your mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
.970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
All right, we are back, and we are just about out of time for this hour. Thanks for the calls about LSU football, giving us your thoughts. I know you can hear more about it on Tiger Talk coming up later today over on KZMZ. T-Bone and Mark Smokey. I'm sure they'll be breaking it all down a little bit more in detail. So there you go. All right, coming up at 8:05, Mike Wynn will join us in the studio, and we'll get into a little bit of history. Always fun to do. good to do on a Monday morning. Thanks for being with us.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Powerful rain in Jamaica, where a massive Category 5 hurricane is lurking.
I'm Jason Allen in Kingston, Jamaica, where Hurricane Melissa is expected to make landfall as the strongest storm in this country's history. A lot of people here, I don't think, understand the power of what's about to hit. So they're going through the same preparations that have gotten them through storms before. But this is a different storm.
The U.S. National Hurricane Center expects Melissa to turn up destructive winds and up to 30 inches of rain. That could trigger catastrophic flooding and mudslides. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
Tornadoes cause... There will be extensive damage to the infrastructure. There's going to be long-lasting power outages, communication outages. Many communities will become isolated and could be completely cut off.
A close call for people in the Deep South. Here's CBS's Jim Krasula.
Tornadoes caused heavy damage in the Mississippi Gulf Coast towns of Goshen and Pascagoula. Many, including these women, are just grateful to be alive after their apartments were hit.
Terrified, but I have my friends and family here. Praise the Lord.
Thanking God that we wasn't here. That's what I'm going to say. I'm thankful.
President Trump got a royal welcome when he arrived in Japan today, but the biggest stop of his Asia trip will be Seoul and a meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. As the clock ticks, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is reporting the U.S. and China are nearing a trade deal. Correspondent Nancy Cordes from Tokyo.
China, he says, is going to start buying U.S. soybeans again. They had boycotted the purchase of all U.S. soybeans, which was devastating to the U.S. soybean industry because China is their biggest customer. He says that's now off the table.
The U.S. Navy reporting 2 of its aircraft, 2 have crashed into the South China Sea in separate incidents. Here's correspondent Charlie D'Agata.
A Seahawk helicopter went down while conducting what the Navy calls routine operations. All 3 on board were rescued. About a half hour later, 2 people aboard an F-18 Super Hornet fighter jet were forced to eject.
Both people there rescued as well. Music can not only soothe the savage beast, it may help ease your aches and pains. CBS's Michael George.
A study published in Scientific Reports found that while listening to music can't eliminate pain, it can reduce the perception of pain and increase pain tolerance. And research has shown that though this works with any kind of music, the strongest effect is when people listen to their favorite genre of music.
Dow futures are up 234. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
Maybe this is you too. People are enormously frustrated with the cost of healthcare right now. There is an option. Hundreds of thousands of people have gone with Medishare. They like it more and they're saving a lot of money. Perfect time for you to join, too. Apply before October 31st, and they will waive your application fee. That's $100 you'll be saving right off the bat, in addition to the thousands you can save every year. Call them now. Here's the number, 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. Medishare is a community of Christians who've shared more than $9 billion in medical bills. It has worked beautifully for decades. And with so many people re-examining their options right now, seeing premiums going up and up, this is a great time to take advantage of this offer. Just tell them the promo code SHARE and save $100 before October 31st. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. The Brian Kelly era at LSU is over.
With
With fans chanting "Fire Kelly," LSU got pummeled by Texas A&M Saturday night 49-25. Well, that apparently was the last straw, as Kelly was fired the next day. Prior to his firing, Kelly said at the post-game news conference that he takes full responsibility.
It stops with the head coach, and so that responsibility falls with me.
Kelly's buyout is $54 million. The school is negotiating with Kelly, but Tiger Rag magazine editor Glenn Gilbo says,
I think LSU has anything to go on here.
Call your Alexandria, Louisiana attorneys, George Fine and Jeremy Cedars.
I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. And glad you guys could be with us here today. 318-442 is our number. Steve, I'm going to let you introduce our guest.
Yeah, Michael Wynn is back again, and we're talking history once again. Big story we had a couple of weeks ago over at England Air Park. Some historical markers were unveiled for two, I guess you could say, aircraft pioneers that are from Central Louisiana. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that and tell us how you started this. And you have a book as well, right?
Yes. I'm not here to promote the book, but if you want more information.
Absolutely.
But it's an absolute fascinating story. The people who deserve credit are the families of both Charles Frederick Page and Paul Leo Artegot. But here's the short version. About 8 years ago, I was doing research on something or other, and I just going through the old newspapers on newspapers.com, and I came across this article from 1937, when Page died, and I read it and I said, this can't be true. And that's what a lot of people say. And then I started did a deep dive into Charles Frederick Page, and basically same thing happened to Leo Artegot. And I just couldn't believe that these stories had been ignored. I checked all of our books on Central Louisiana, including local journals, Chamber of Commerce magazine, everything else. Not a mention, just poof, just like they never existed. And then much later on, I was on a podcast with the International Helicopter Society, and they said, yeah, Paul Leo Artegot is our greatest hero in the world. And nobody knows about him in Alexandria, where he lived. Wow. And same thing for Charles Frederick Page. They are building a gigantic exhibit on him, a life-size recreation of his airship in New Jersey right now for the Black Inventors Hall of Fame Museum, multi-million-dollar Black Inventors Hall of Fame. It is the keynote center exhibit for the lobby. And again, he was basically unknown or forgotten about in Pineville, where he spent his almost entire life.
Why do you think that is?
It's it astounds me. I think there may be a racial element regarding Page, but for Artigo, it's just like people want to believe certain things are true and not other things are true. These two men were monumental in their field, in their separate fields, and they both originated here in Central Louisiana. It still astounds me, and I said this in my speech on the unveiling of the murals at the airport and then the markers. It still astounds me. There's still people today who don't believe it. And I showed them the documentation, and they said, this just can't be true. And they're just two absolutely incredible men that we should pay respect to and would serve as great role models for our children and our grandchildren.
So let's start with the oldest, Charles Page. They believe he
was born
a slave.
Born enslaved, which is the proper term. Born in 1864, it would have been a baby. Self-taught to read and write. He, in the 1890s, remember, the Wright brothers ship didn't fly till I think 04. In the 1890s, Page saw a mosquito hawk flying, and he says, if a mosquito hawk can fly, I can fly. And he had no money, 13 children in Pineville off of Highway 28. He was in a home that he had to build himself. And he just tinkered around, and he built this airship. It's not like the Wright brothers, but it could take off, it could move around in the air, and it could all be controlled by him. And he submitted a patent. The Wright brothers submitted a patent, and Page's patent beat the Wright brothers. And yet, try to find him in an American history book that talks about aviation. You will find no mention of him at all. The Smithsonian had an exhibit on him in the 1990s.
Wow.
When we still don't even know about him.
That's insane.
It is.
So it was an airship is what they called it. Kind of describe it to us, if you can.
It's basically using balloons, but it was able to navigate using a mechanical electrical device. And so it could take off the ground and move around. The family and other sources believe that he actually used it, went up in the air in Pineville around the turn of the century, 1900, not specifically documented. He submitted in 1904 was the Louisiana Purchase Exhibition in St. Louis, Missouri, which had an aeronautic competition. He actually sent his full-scale model on a train to go there, and the model, the ship disappeared. We believe, the family believes, it may have been destroyed, stolen, we'll never know. Tremendously discouraging. A letter does survive from a company from New Jersey, coincidentally, also New Jersey, offering him $30,000 for his patent.
That's a lot back then, huh?
A lot. In 1903. He has a letter survived. But for whatever reason, he didn't contract with him. He just basically became very discouraged. Now, the rest of his life is absolutely amazing. Just forget about the whole thing about the airship. He basically spent his whole life helping other people. He did things. He grew plants to be made into medicine by medicine companies. He created the theory of a diversified labor where tenant farmers could own their own property. It's much more complicated than I'm explaining right now. He dug coal in Pineville. Yes, we had a coal mine in Pineville. He did free dental services. No, he was not a dentist. This wouldn't be happen today, but he did dentist services for people who couldn't afford the dentist. He built coffins for people who couldn't afford coffins. The man just was an amazing... When Greenwood Cemetery was set up, he was hired as the manager of Greenwood Cemetery. He actually invented certain devices to handle coffins, to raise and lower from the ground that did not exist, and attempted to patent those. In 1911, there was a white student from LCU now, that was crossing the bridge into Alexandria, the Murray Street Bridge, who was murdered by an African American. Charles Frederick Page was able to bring the white community and the black community all together during this very heavily Jim Crow era to avoid a race riot. And he's accredited. There's other places, Omaha, so many other places that had race riots. He was able to stop a race riot in central Louisiana. It's well documented in the Town Talk. The man was quite an amazing man, and Cenla is a much better place because he lived here.
And just completely forgotten until now.
Up until now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it was a long fight to get, I hate to say fight, but it was a long effort by many people, including the families, to get the historical markers both on Edgewood in Pineville 2 years ago and the ones at the airport and the murals. And I compliment the England Commission and the airport managers for their efforts recently. It was originally proposed in 2001 by Eric Moen, who was the architect for the airport. He put into the Town Talk interview and said, we need to have a mural honoring Charles Frederick Page in the airport. Never happened in 2001. It only was a little bit lately, 2025, but much credit deserves to the current management and the commission and many others for finally making it happen. And just think about all the international people, military people who come and go at the airport, who will see this, who will look at the markers, who will look at the murals inside of the airport. And we have a lot to be proud of that these two men lived here.
Should have just named it the Charles Page Terminal or something. Nice. I mean,
I'm not
pretty
opposed
amazing.
to that idea. Maybe, Steve, that's a great idea.
Yeah. We got to take a break.
No, we actually have a call
Okay.
coming in. So let's go ahead and take that. Good. Well, no, we don't. They just dropped off. Go ahead.
Okay, so not one, we have two. This one, Mr. Ortega, was much later.
Much later, a bit later, but a different story, but equally fascinating. We'll talk about it now before the commercial?
No,
Yeah,
we can
let's
talk
go
about
ahead
it
and
now.
take the commercial.
Okay,
That way-
go ahead.
That way we don't have to cut them off. So we'll be right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Central Louisiana has what it takes. Strong workforce, perfect location, and a legacy of getting things done. That's why Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is producing clean fuel in Pineville, investing $2.5 billion, bringing 1,100 construction jobs, 600 permanent jobs, and millions in local tax revenue. Made here, powered by us. Visit BeaverLakeEnergy.com and see how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Craig's Cleaners is now looking for some good employees. In particular, Craig's is looking for people with cashier experience and who have a valid driver's license. It's a pretty sweet job, too. Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. with no weekends. That's right. Here's your chance for every weekend off. So if you're interested in working for Craig's Cleaners, please apply in person at Craig's main location at 1746 Elliott Street, Alexandria.
From America's #1 travel radio show, I'm Robert Carey with today's RM World Travel Minute. Back on our October 18th live national broadcast of the 2-hour weekend edition of our national travel show, Mary and I were joined by the CCO of Allegiant Air, Drew Wells, for an informative chief travel leader conversation. That interview is now archived on our show website if you missed it, and we appreciate the way Allegiant is growing as they've taken a different approach to air travel. Another airline that we continue to watch closely is Southwest. Their CEO, Bob Jordan, has been a guest on the program with us a few times now. And if you haven't heard, following United, Southwest is now using the Wilma method for boarding. That's window passengers first, then middle seat travelers can board, followed by aisle seats. They also unveiled refreshed interiors, and they needed to do this. The changes include an extra legroom section, new high-end seats, improved lighting, larger overhead bins, USB-A and USB-C power at every seat, plus redesigned tray tables with dual drink cutouts. Will this fuel growth at Southwest? It's likely, but it does make them more like the other big airlines. More travel info awaits you anytime at rmworldtravel.com.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back. Historian and author Michael Wynn joins us on the show, and we've been talking about a couple of great figures in Louisiana history, Central Louisiana history specifically, that really maybe have gone unnoticed a little bit, and we were just about to get into the second one.
Yeah, so aviation history, we talked about Charles Page, who came up with the airship, the patent for that. Next one is Leo Ortego.
Paul Leo Ortego, another fascinating guy, but quite a bit of different story. He was born in Plocheville. He's basically unknown in Avals Parish. His family moved in youth to Alexandria. His home was on Elliott Street, right 1200 block of Elliott, right next to I-49 now. It's now a vacant lot, torn down when they built I-49. But he went to World War I. He was the first person from this area to volunteer. He was on the American Expeditionary Force. He flew biplanes. He crashed twice, and he barely lived, just survived the crashes. And he made a statement later that if he could have taken the planes and going up and down as well as left and right, horizontal and vertical, that it would have been a lot easier. He would have been a lot safer. So he went back to his house on Elliott Street and started tinkering like Page did and built what we would call a helicopter now. Now, the helicopters are how the different types are very complicated. There was Igor Sikorsky in 1910 that built a helicopter, but his had to be connected to the ground. It could go up, but it had to have wiring to connect to the ground. What was unique about Paul Leo Ortego's helicopter was that it's what we look at today. He could take off, he could ride in it, he could take off from the ground, and it was not attached to the ground by any wiring to give it power. Everything was on the helicopter. And he built it. He had it dragged over to the corner of Bolton and Monroe, where the old Acme Glass Company is. It used to be a big open field. And he took off from there in 1922. There's 5 pictures of the helicopter and him taking off. So it's well documented. And he got a patent for it. Now, he married once, when overseas, he married a German girl, brought her back, divorced, married someone else, but never had any children. He would eventually donate his patent to the U.S. Army, which is, many say, the experts in the helicopter field say is a multi-billion-dollar helicopter patent these days, and it's a fundamental patent for every helicopter today, among many other patents. During World War II, he volunteered again to serve his country. He was considered too old, so he went to work for the Ryan Aviation Company in California, I think San Diego, if I remember right. And he was the tester for new aircraft, both helicopters and airplanes. And he died right at the end of the war, and he's buried in Pineville at the National Cemetery. I visited his grave the other day. Just a fascinating man, and again, forgotten about, and I was so glad that he was honored because he's known around the world.
Essentially, he's the reason we have the helicopter we have today.
I would say the best way, I think a helicopter would have eventually been invented, but he gets credit for the type of helicopter we basically consider a helicopter today. And his patent is still being used. An amazing man.
Do you have any reason or idea why he donated instead of making some money off of it? What's the deal with that?
He was absolutely devoted to our country. He fought in the First War, a tremendous hero, attempted to fight in the Second War, contributed in the Second War by testing airplanes for the Army. I think he was just enamored being a devotee to our country. During World War I, he used to write letters back to the Town Talk that were published talking about what happened overseas, because he was the first man from Central Louisiana to fight in World War I. And his letters, which I published in my book and everything, are truly fascinating. They actually made a silent documentary film in 1919, and he was featured in it, but the film, as far as I can tell, has been lost to time. Just an absolute, so in a way, he was the first Cenla person to be in a motion picture. And that, just a fascinating life along with Page.
And during his time when he was alive, and I'm sure afterwards, he was fairly well known in Central Louisiana during that time.
Yes, he frequently, even when he moved to California, he was frequently wrote back to the Town Talk telling about things. He was a well-respected man. There's the family members just talk about him in adoration. The uncle, who was the hero of the family. And yes, he was well known and respected, but just like so many, he died in 47. And just like, much like Page, he just somehow just got forgotten about. And now he's been resurrected for all time, for people to admire, to learn from, to emulate.
I know he's probably, both of them are probably well known in like the niche community, right?
In the niche
aviation community. But you guys are trying to make sure that they're recognized and remembered in their hometowns. And so tell us about the murals you guys have up at England Airport, specifically where they're at if people are going through there.
Well, if you go into the big room at the airport, you will, all you have to do is you turn around and you can't miss the murals. They're very imaginative, and I apologize, I can't remember the artist's name. I met them. They deserve a lot of credit. Imaginative, very delightful to look at for all ages. And the historical markers are along the little walkway where the fountain is when you come in from the parking lot. You can't miss them there. And I'm just so proud that Cenla has finally recognized both of these men, and it's all about the future. Long after I'm gone and the family members are gone, these markers will still be there, and some child will point up and say, "What is that?" Or some adult will take a pause while they're carrying their luggage at the airport and look at them and say, "Wow, that's amazing. These people lived here." And then you look in the airport while you're sitting there playing on your phone, waiting for your plane to take off. You can look at the murals and just imagine there's a visual representation of what they did. And you can just imagine and think about it. And I've always believed fundamentally, if you want to have respect to yourself, you need to pay respect to others. We should all be on an equal basis. And now that we're paying respect to these great men, I think the community, we ourselves are in a way respecting our own community and ourselves. Let's share the good things that Cenla people do.
So Charles Page's grandson, right, is Joe Page.
A well-respected man. Well-known, well-respected, great man. I admire him. Everybody who knows him admires him.
The one part of the interview that stuck out to me with him is he goes, I used to tell people back in the day that my grandpa is, one of the reasons we have airplanes today. He created the airship and no one would believe him. And so they just quit talking about it. And now this kind of validates everything they talked about over the years. And that's due in part to you with the research.
It's a team effort. A lot of people deserve credit. Again, the airport commission, the airport manager. But yes, Joe's family, as well as the Artigo family, including Artigo's niece, Marion Artigo Neville, well-known author here, both feel validated. They no longer have to hold back and not tell the stories. Every time they would tell the stories of their family member, people would say, "Nah, didn't happen."
Well, you get it too because you think that they would be very well known. I mean, those are amazing feats, right, of invention.
Absolutely.
It's just you kind of get tired of trying to explain it to people.
I remember talking to former Pineville Mayor Clarence Fields. He also remembers all this the stories about Charles Frederick Page in his youth, and it was just, well, did it really happen? Is there any documentation? Is there any truth to this? And he just didn't want to talk about it anymore because in his youth, because it was all just denied by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't deny it anymore.
Well, where can people get the book, and what is it called?
I've written, I'm kind of embarrassed. I've written so dang many books. I can't remember the exact title. It was one of my earliest books. I just published another one.
Was it one of your early ones?
Oh, it's one of my I published it 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay.
It always amazes me that it's selling all over the world. And I said, I wish I could have tinkered with it a little bit more to make it a little bit better.
Sure.
But I'm very, very proud of it. I can't remember the exact title, but people can call me. I have copies available that I can sell less than you can buy them on Amazon. It's actually a joint book on both Page and Ortego. I never thought it would take off like it does. It sold copies in every continent in the world except for Antarctica, and I'm working on that right now.
Well, they need to get on that. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, let's take a quick call before we let Mike go. Here, good morning. You're on Talkback.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I can tell you that we didn't, when I was going through flight school at Fort Rucker, I had not heard of Ortego. So it would be interesting. That might be some, perhaps your guest could approach the Defense Department or the U.S. Army and see if they're interested in including that in a bit. I mean, we did have some history with helicopters, but I'm curious, regarding Ortego, how did he overcome? We know how Igor Sikorsky came up with the swash plate for the helicopter. Because helicopters have, any type of gyroscope has what they call phase lag or gyroscopic precession. So if you make an input on something, it shows up 90 degrees later in rotation. How did this guy overcome that? Igor Sikorsky came up with it when he was in a hospital bed in traction, looking at how they had his leg rigged up, because if you don't have a swash plate to change the input, if you push forward on the cyclic, you're actually putting it in on the right side if the helicopter, is a counter rotating blades. I mean, counterclockwise blades are on the left if it's clockwise.
Okay.
I'll confess that I am not an expert on the helicopter or the mechanics of the helicopter. I had to do a deep dive back in 8 or 9 years ago in that to be able to put that information in the book. But that's been a few moons ago, and I've forgotten a good bit. But yes, the first part of what you said is, I think more attention, Ortego deserves much more attention to all the great things he did by the U.S. Army and by everybody. I mean, he basically can you imagine a man giving up what would be equivalent to $1 billion patent just to support his country? There's very few people like that these days, and he deserves much more attention on a national and international basis, not just here in Cenla. I know the helicopter community, he is well known in the helicopter community and has been honored many times. I mentioned earlier about the podcast I did with the authorities in Great Britain who were in the helicopters. And I couldn't imagine, I was just shocked at all the stuff they knew about Ortego that I didn't even know and people here didn't even know. But yes, he deserves more attention. I'm sure a person in the helicopter field could even examine his contribution much better than I can. And I'm happy to talk to any group about Ortego and Page. I've been giving talks. I've traveled as far away as Florida to give talks on these men. During COVID, I gave lots of talks by podcast, still giving podcasts on them, and I'm delighted to talk about it. we have so many great people. As I mentioned earlier, I just published a book just this weekend on J.B. Lafargue. Everybody pretty much just knows the special ed school on Eddie Williams named after him. But this man was at one time the highest ranking Black Republican in the nation. In 1896, he co-nominated William McKinley for president, was friends with President McKinley, and President McKinley gave him the battle flag from the Spanish-American War. J.B. Lafargue brought Booker T. Washington to Alexandria twice. This man was known all over the country for basically reinventing education for African Americans in the nation. And he was pretty much forgotten here. And I couldn't believe all the other discoveries I came across in his book. He even came up with the idea of having a public library here in town, which is I've now documented, which became eventually the Genealogical Library.
Awesome.
The name of the book is Charles Frederick Page and Paul Leo Ortega, Heroes in the Birth of Aviation in America.
I'm a little embarrassed,
Amazon.
Steve, that you had
No,
it's the title of my own book.
Good. It's good.
All right, Mike. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you again. Thanks so much for coming in and sharing all this great information.
Always an honor and pleasure to be with you guys.
Yes, sir.
You too, man.
More coming up.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Some positivity in the air as investors eye a U.S.-China trade truce and a possible interest rate cut from the Fed. Some deals also in the works. Drug giant Novartis has agreed to buy San Diego-based Avidity, and dating app Grindr confirms receiving a take-private proposal from large shareholders. Are you paying more for sandwiches? Consumer prices for lunch meats rose more than 4% last month. That is the largest monthly increase on record. A trade group for U.S. auto suppliers says factories are less than a month away from shortages because they can't get enough computer chips for things like windshield wipers and car windows. And Americans are shelling out for the Insta-Perfect Pumpkinscape. Folks are paying porch stylists hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to deck out front steps with pumpkins, mums, and Halloween decorations. One fall stylist tells Wall Street Journal she's using enough pumpkins to fill 24 18-wheelers for her displays. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
All of us have that one friend who can just light up the room with a smile. And sadly, how many of us are just a little bit envious of that friend? Well, here's the good news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver that beautiful beaming smile. Over the years, hundreds of hopeful patients have visited and been completely satisfied. They've made getting dental implants an amazingly simple, low-anxiety procedure, one that's affordable for anyone's budget. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you feel comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled, certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Isn't it your turn to light up that room? Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Gauthier. That's 448-4540.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Good morning, starting the weekend this Monday with a bit of fog that'll burn off rather quickly and leave us with a nice day. Sunny skies, 79 will do it for the afternoon high, with winds out of the north-northwest at about 5 to 10. Tonight, clear skies down to 56 for the overnight low. And then for our Tuesday, it looks like partly cloudy skies with the afternoon high temperatures near 80 degrees. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we are back once again here on Talkback. 318-442-8255 is our phone number. While I have a moment, let's just remind you that coming up later today, 11:30, over at the Granbury Conference Center at Louisiana Christian University, it is the North Rapids Business and Industry Alliance monthly meeting for October. And the guest will be Public Service Commissioner and Chairman of the PSC, Mike Francis, as he'll talk about updates on electricity and utility rates, the potential CLECO sale, and other key issues that could be affecting our local area. So that's coming up over at Granbury.
You will be there, and we'll have something for you after.
So you're going?
Online. Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Get to have some lunch, maybe?
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
Sounds good.
Sometimes I stick around, sometimes I don't.
I'd love to be there, but during the semester I have classes that one ends at 11:05. Next one starts at 11:15. That one ends at 12:10. Then I have another that starts at 12:30. So just can't do it. But
I understand.
But once we get into December, I should be able to make that one.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hear from the PSC very often. So.
Yeah.
Did you see the Alexandria Police Department published crime numbers on their Facebook page?
Really?
From Chief Grimion. He goes, the crime data and trends speak for themselves, including a 48% drop in overall homicides since the administration took over, which would be 2022. He also noted that the homicide clearance rate is approaching 90% for 2024, which is significantly higher than the national average. Alexandria also has a 64% drop. So when compared to the previous administration's highest homicide year, Alexandria currently shows a 64% drop. Property crimes are down significantly from 22 to 24, including approaching a 50% in both unauthorized entries and aggravated burglaries.
So do you think by releasing those numbers, they're trying to show the difference in reality versus perception?
I think that's what they're trying to get at.
Yeah.
And we posted this a couple, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago when they talked about it at one of the mayoral briefings. They believe all the crime statistics are down compared to what they have been. And, that's going to be one of the main things when people head to the polls in Alexandria in, a year and a half, when they pick their mayor. And that's going to be probably one of the biggest things they think about.
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
So they feel like they're going in the right direction. Perfection doesn't happen overnight. And then you hear the talks of the National Guard and going to places across Louisiana.
Yeah.
So who knows? Still could happen.
Right.
You just don't know where.
Yeah, I mean, that does sound positive. It does sound like things are trending in the right direction. Could it be better, though? I guess it can always be better, right?
I guess they would argue, and I don't know. I guess you could argue it takes time. You have
worse
to
too, though,
watch the trends. What'd you say?
Or it could always be worse.
Could always be worse.
Yeah. By me asking, could it be better? What I'm saying is, if something like the National Guard were available, would that help with a department that's suffering from a shortage in personnel?
Could be. I mean, I think that's a problem across the country.
Sure.
And I think they would love to hire more officers. And I don't know. Obviously, that's not an Alexandria-specific problem.
Absolutely not.
And, maybe as a society, we need to figure out how we can pay them more.
Yeah, we've said that
a
before.
million times.
I agree 100%.
But, in Shreveport, when I was there, big issue they had, they're down over 100. Obviously a bigger city.
What you wonder is if you have guys and women that are willing to keep doing the job, even though it might be a shorthanded situation, maybe they're working a little more, why can't the money be used, let's say, whatever the pool is amount for the total budget for salaries, if that money is going unspent because of openings, could that be redirected toward those that are there and pay them more, reward them more?
Maybe so, but that probably wouldn't address the problem of needing to hire more officers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That.
I guess retention is a big deal too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's beyond my scope of understanding, I'm sure, but it's a big problem. Like I was at the gym in Pineville yesterday, and there were two middle-aged men just talking about an Alexandria crime. They both said they lived in Pineville, but that they think it's so bad. Like they say it's a problem. I don't like to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes perception is the most important thing.
Right.
And I think the city is not winning on that perception front.
Yeah.
And I think that's something they're trying to reverse, which is probably very difficult, no matter who the mayor is.
It is interesting that if you live or work in Pineville, you find that unless there's a real reason, you don't come across the bridge all that often. Like for me, if I weren't doing this job right now, I don't know how often I'd even come in Alexandria.
Maybe if you want to go to the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Movies or certain restaurants. But other than that,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not the type that's going to go to the mall.
And look, I know it's a problem. I know things are dangerous in places, and obviously when there's numbers, there's numbers, right?
Mm.
And just because I have this experience doesn't mean other people don't have this experience. So don't take this the wrong way. And
yeah,
I've just never felt unsafe, and I travel across Ellig constantly. And I'm
Yeah.
sure there are parts and there are people that
Yeah.
do feel unsafe. But when I'm shopping or when I'm going to different places, I never feel unsafe. And maybe that's just my my happy-go-lucky attitude, right? I don't think it is that.
Would it be different though if your wife and child were with you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't think so. Now, if I'm out in the middle of the night
Yeah.
in a Walmart parking lot, I could. If I was in Panama City, I'd feel unsafe.
Yeah.
If I was in Shreveport, I felt unsafe.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Well, we can continue this more, but we need to take a break.
KSYL. I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Kevin Harlan here for Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner from Arrowhead in Kansas City when the Chiefs take on the Commanders. Patrick Mahomes and a resurgent Kansas City have moved to 4-3 on the season with back-to-back wins. Now they face a 3-4 Washington team dealing with injuries. Don't miss it on Monday Night Football.
On Sinla's home for the NFL, 94.7 ESPN.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum. Even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK-TALKBACK.
All right, we are back. Alan Stephen with you here on Talkback. 318-442-8255 is our number. We still have some time for you this morning before we get to the end of the hour, and then Moon Grafan coming up at 9:05 as well. So we get the Monday off and running. What do you have planned today besides Narvia?
I got a couple interviews that are 90% going to happen, so I'm not going to say yet, but I got a couple things in the works. It'll be a busy start to the week. But
got some things cooking, as they say.
Yeah, for sure. And just trying to get around everywhere as much as I can.
That's good. Yeah, even on the weekends, you're still out and about.
Well, yesterday was just because I was already out there.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Hopefully we'll have more weekend stuff down the road. That'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go back to the crime thing. Like I said, I don't want to discount people's experiences. Just because I have a certain one doesn't mean they don't. I know people that are my age that live in certain Alexandria neighborhoods who have moved recently because they had too many issues.
Yeah.
I understand that. And I've lived all over Central Louisiana. So I've had all the experiences. I've lived in the Garden District. I've lived in apartments. I've lived in Pineville. You know, I've lived outside of Pineville. And I've just never felt, me personally, in a whole lot of danger. That's just my experience. But I know people have different ones.
Sure.
You know, when I used to live on Albert Street, I don't know if we'd be walking down Albert Street at 8 o'clock at night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I guess could be a problem too. You know,
I don't
you shouldn't
remember
have
when
to
you
feel
lived on
safe.
Albert Street.
Yeah. By the police department.
When was that?
2013, 14 maybe.
Huh. Okay.
2013, 14. Yep.
So you were living off campus while you were in school?
I think for the majority of my school, I probably did. Or about half.
Yeah.
So. And I don't want to say where I live now. I love where I live in Alexandria. You know,
He lives at 1410, blah, blah, blah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Which it wouldn't be hard. Everyone knows each other out here. So
that's true.
I know a bunch of people that live by me.
Yeah.
But I feel safe out there. But there are parts where I probably wouldn't walk around. I understand that. But I think that goes for any city. I mean, my first day at a gated community in Shreveport. First day living there.
Yeah.
My car was broken into. My wife's car.
Wow.
She had a Kia. You remember the issues with Kia?
Yeah.
They had this default where people were trying to steal them all the time. They have the Kia boys over in Shreveport. They get a bunch of young people to go and steal Kias because they have some sort of security fault in the system, and it's easy to steal.
Gotcha. All right. We have some breaking news here this morning. A couple stories. First of all, in the wake of firing their head coach, Brian Kelly, LSU now is dismissing their offensive coordinator, Joe Sloan. Their tight ends coach, Alex Atkins, will take over there. And we have yet another candidate jumping into the race to challenge Bill Cassidy for his U.S. Senate seat. That would be State Representative Julie Emerson of Carencro. Just reading through this article. In a polished, formative video online, Emerson, who's 37, declared her intention to join the crowded GOP field, touting her 10 years of experience in the legislature. As chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, she authored the extensive state tax overhaul that lawmakers approved last year and championed Jeff Landry's efforts to expand the use of public dollars for private school vouchers, although that program did not get the funding that he nor she were looking for. So that means now the closed primary on the Republican side will include, obviously, Bill Cassidy, State Treasurer John Fleming, State Senator Blake Miguez, Public Service Commissioner Eric Skermetta, St. Tammany Parish Council Member Kathy Seiden. We have Sammy Wyatt in that race as well, and now Julie Emerson.
I have heard Julie's name before. I don't really know much about her.
So my question is, Stephen, if we keep getting more and more Republican candidates for this race, does that increase Bill Cassidy's odds of at least getting into a runoff simply by name recognition?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know. I know everyone's talking about the money he has. And
yeah. I mean, if you have like 8 or 9 names in the field, is that going to water it down enough to where he gets, let's just say, 18% of the vote, someone else gets 20% of the vote, everyone else is at 10 or less percent, but because you have so many in it, he gets into the runoff for the Republican side.
I'm no poli-sci major, but I personally believe that his vote to convict Trump is strong enough for the base here to kind of be the death knell there for him. I'm not saying that's what I think should happen. I just think I think it's pretty strong.
All right, let's take another call here this morning. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Yeah, one of the classic deals in Louisiana politics is to get a whole bunch of candidates that so dilutes the vote that the incumbent at least is in the second primary. If it, I mean, I've read about this infamous sheriff from St. Landry, Cat Doucette, or Doucet, depending on how you pronounce it,
right?
Who basically wormed his way into office more or less continually by doing that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is I'm wondering if more people are getting in to help Cassidy.
Well, I mean, I guess the trick would be to figure out who was paying for Miss Emerson's run. And if you can somehow figure out that it's wink, wink, somebody that is a Cassidy buddy, it pretty much shows what's happening.
Sure.
And I mean, politics is a blood sport.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's really a blood money sport.
Of course, I still want to know who's going to cough up the money for the now ex-coach at LSU.
That's a great question. I'm sure that they have some boosters that are lined up to do that. I don't know.
It must be nice to have so much money that you can tell it away over something so stupid as that.
I agree. It's insane.
Yep. 100%. Keeping it real.
Well, you could probably set up a really good, what do they call those special schools?
Charter school?
A charter school.
Yeah.
A really great charter school that would generate far greater returns to the people of the state than paying off that kind of salary. But
or they could just pay their employees more if they own businesses.
True.
I guess it is what it is.
We are making too much sense here this morning. All right. Thanks for the call. We do need to take a break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with The Clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The Clinics on North Dalton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Hi, I'm Rhett with Entergy Louisiana, and I'm a customer too. I'm proud to say that our rates are 33% below the national average. Every day, our team is focused on keeping costs lower for you. We take affordability personally because this is our home too. So we work harder and smarter to fight rising costs while also improving reliability for years to come. This isn't just my job, it's a commitment to my community. Together, we power life. Entergy.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Al and Stephen with you here on Talkback on a Monday. We've got exactly 2 minutes left in the show. 2-minute warning, as they say.
Yep. Sorry, just setting up some stuff here. Seems like kind of a... Thank God Michael Wynn came on. We're dragging today.
What are you talking about? I've had a stellar show.
You have. It's been really good. Thank God for you. Did you see where they're trying to deport Mandami?
Really?
Yeah, a couple of GOP.
I saw where they're questioning his naturalization process.
I think they're saying that since he's a Democrat socialist, meaning he's a communist, meaning he lied on his forms to get into to become an American citizen. And there's a couple other things.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be an interesting little twist?
Sure would be. I doubt it goes through, but we'll see.
I saw where Gavin Newsom was on CBS this morning, and they asked him about running for president in 2028, and he said something to the effect, if I said I wasn't interested, I'd be lying, and I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking...
Well, he's obviously going to run.
For the first time? You mean?
No, he's obviously going to run.
Obviously.
Yeah. He'll probably be the front runner. Who knows if that'll last.
Oh, my gosh. People.
Kamala says she hasn't rolled out the possibility either, which I think that'd be a mistake. for if they want to win the election, I feel. You
Yeah.
never know what could happen.
Yeah. Oh, so much can happen in the next 3 years. We're not even 1 year into Trump's presidency.
AOC, it'll be an interesting presidential election.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. So, all right. Meanwhile, the shutdown continues. I hate it for the people that aren't getting paid, but otherwise, I've not seen a whole lot of difference in my life.
Not yet, I guess. I don't know. I realize you have to be rich to buy beef now. I tried to eat a steak last night. Had to almost take out a loan.
Wow.
So whoever can fix the economy,
eat more chicken.
We need more. I had to eat
You've
pork.
been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of